Let's be honest, laying out views takes up more than 30% of your development time. Alex here from Rebeloper, and I want you to hit that subscribe button because in this video I will show you how to cut that time in half or in quarter or 10 folds even. So let's dive in. So let's talk about one of my favorite topics, laying out views. And you most probably heard of Autolayout if you are living in this planet and in Xcode. So we are going to talk about how to improve Autolayout, meaning we are not going to use Autolayout. We are going to use Layoutless. And Layoutless is an awesome GitHub repository from Declarative Hub. Go ahead and check it out. We are going to use that. So I will guide you through. I have built multiple projects with Layoutless and they look awesome. So let's just jump right into it. We are going to build out a brand new Xcode project and I am going to walk you through the basics of Layoutless. You will enjoy it, I promise. So let's start up Xcode here. And we are going to build out a brand new project. So let's create a new project. Let's just click on that. Let me just resize this real quick so you can see a lot better. We're going to use a single view application and product name. There we go, Layoutless with few S's there. And make sure that you are in Swift. A user interface should be storyboard, but we are going to ditch storyboard. This means basically we have to choose between Swift UI or storyboard. We want to use storyboard because we are going to use UIKit here. So let's click on the next layer and let me just drop it into the desktop. There we go. Nice. So first thing first, I'm going to add an asset here, and that is just a simple PNG file of a whale. Yeah, how awesome is that? So next thing, and I do this all the time, so you should be familiar with this. Let's just delete the main.storyboard. So hit return there. Let's move to trash, and now let's clean up because we need to clean up. Otherwise, our Xcode project would want to use that main.storyboard. So first thing we do is just remove main interface from there. Let's just click out of that, and then let's just go to info, scene manifest, scene configuration, application, session rows, item 0. It's a long way down there, but make sure you just find storyboard name. As you can see, it's main, but we have to delete the whole key value pair. So let's click on this minus button there. Okay, so now we got rid of the main.storyboard. We want to initialize this through a code. So we have the view controller, so we will initialize that in the scene delegate. So what we want to do, as you can see, we are kind of creating our window scene here, but it's not being used, so we are declaring it as an underscore. So let's just use this. So let's just add in here window scene, and what we want to add is window equals UI window and parentheses, just open parentheses and choose window scene, and let's just add window scene over there. Next up, we want to set window make key and visible. Sorry about that typo, make key and visible. There we go. And finally, we want to set the root view controller. And in our case, it will be our basic view controller. So window root view controller equals our view controller. So let's just go back into our view controller and let's add a background color. So our view dot background color equals, let's say, system teal. That will be nice. So let's see how that looks like. Let's just select on one of our simulators. iPhone 11 is just fine for me. By the way, you can just delete any old simulator that you don't need. It takes up so much space on your computer. I really like to delete them when I have the chance. So there we go. Let us just see how that looks like. There we go. We have a teal background. Really, really nice. Now, how do we import Layoutless? Well, it is pretty simple. Let's go back to our Safari. Tap on clone or download and you will see this URL. So click on this little kind of copy button and the URL will be copy it onto your clipboard, and let's go back to Xcode. And what you want to do is import through SPM, so Swift Package Manager. So let's go to Layoutless, the target, and then, the project, right over here, and then Project, Swift Packages, and you will see a plus button here. So let's add, copy and paste the Git repository URL. So let's click on Next, and it will just find it. Now you can select your version. I suggest you use up to next major, as Xcode already suggests. That's really nice. You could just use up to next minor, range, exact. Go ahead and Google that. It's really simple about versioning. So let's click on next here. And let's just wait a little bit. It depends on your internet connection. And you will see this page, and let's just click on finish. Now we have, as you can see, imported Swift Package Manager with Layoutless. Now I am going to move this a little bit further. Now you could just follow along to tutorial. If you are going to just add a simple UI image view and a UI label and a UI view, you will see later on, it's fine, but I want to make this even faster, so I will import Spark UI. Now what is Spark UI? Spark UI is a framework that I have built. It automatically includes Layoutless, so it's fetching it as a dependency, and you will see we will create those views, the UI image view and the label, really fast. So what I will do next is just go back and delete Layoutless, because with Spark UI we will import that. But yeah, if you don't want to just use Layoutless. So let's just add that plus button, import Spark UI. Now this will take a minute. Let me just click on next there. And yeah, by the way, this is still in kind of beta 0.10.11. If you are seeing this a little bit higher, make sure that you choose exact here. So yeah, I would choose exact, because yeah, things might change and things might not work as in this tutorial. So let's click on next here. So we are grabbing the exact Spark UI version, so you don't have any issues if I just make some breaking changes in the future. So let's wait for this to download, because it will take up a little bit of time because we are fetching a lot of dependencies. Okay, so you should see something like this. So let's just click on finish there, and as you can see, all of the dependencies, including Spark UI, has been added as a Swift package dependency. Really nice. So let's get to work. Let's go into our view controller, and let's just import Spark UI. Yeah, and maybe we should hit Command B so we get auto completion. As you can see, it doesn't really get that. Yeah, we already have Spark UI, but if we hit Command B and that builds successfully, and we have auto completion and it's recognizing Spark UI also. So let's import also Layoutless. So there you go, importing Spark UI and Layoutless. And now we can just simply create some views. And with the help of Spark UI, I'm going to just really quickly create two views. The first one is an image view. That is a UI image view, and let's set the image named, and I believe it was whale. So let me just be really precise and just copy the name out of the assets folder. So let's go back. There we go, whale. Yeah, you could argue that you could do this really fast in plain old UIKit, but yeah, there are advantages to Spark UI, and you will see next, because I'm going to create a label, a simple label. Let that be a UI label. There we go. And now I'm going to add a text to it. Oh, this is where your Spark UI shines. Let's see, whale. That will be our text. How nice is that? So we are going to also set, let's say, let's have it as a bold. Yep, and that's just it. Now do that in plain old UIKit with just a single line of code. Okay, so let's remove the background color, because yeah, that was just for testing that we have everything connected correctly. And now let's just create a brand new function here, and let's make it the file private, because I really want to have these only accessible through this file. So func, and that will be layout views. Okay, and here we will layout views. Now this will be called in the view did load, simple as that. Now first things first, I want to set the image view and the label, and maybe we will add in some more. Maybe we'll have some more text or a UI label so you can see how scrolling works. So that's a teaser for you. So first thing first, we are going to talk about, and I will read out from my notes here, sizing, centering in parent, sticking to parent edges, filling parent, insets, stacking, and scrolling. Now I know that's a little bit too much, but let's just take a look at sizing first. So how can you size view? Because yeah, you do know image views need to have a size set. It's not like a UI label which has its intrinsic size already set when you just set some text and some font and so on. So what do? So we just type in image view, and we just start typing in sizing. As you can see, there are some variations here: sizing to width, sizing to height, and sizing to width and height. So let's say here 100 and 100. So that's our image view sizing. We have set our size of our image view. Of course, this is going to be called in the result, so we have some errors here, and we'll see why in just a moment. But yeah, that's how easy it is to give a size to our view. Of course, there are sizing as a limit, so make sure, let's say, to a maximum size or a minimum size, or yeah, there are variations here, but this is just the basics of it. So centering in parent. So let's just center this in parent. So image view, centering in parent. As you can see, we can set centering vertically in parent or centering horizontally in parent, but I will just select centering in the parent. Now there's a concept here that in Layoutless that you want to lay it out in some kind of view, and we are going to lay out everything here in the UI view controllers view. So let's just type in layout, and as you can see, we are needing here we need here a view, so we are going to use the view there. Yeah, and that should be it. Let's just copy this out. Or rather yet, let's just copy and paste it in there and just delete everything. Yeah, as you can see, it's really nice with the dot notation. Okay, let me just add this here, maybe centering in parent and layout in view. Really, really readable. So let's build and run and see how that looks like. There we go. Of course, we have the background because that's the default one, so I will just fix that. But as you can see, we have our image there. So first of all, let's fix that background issue. Let's stop this with command dot, and then let's set the views background color to be system background. There we go, system background. And yeah, that will choose either white or black according to your appearance. That's right, that's how it's called, appearance. Either it's light or dark. So we have taken care of sizing, centering in parent. Now it's time to take a look at sticking at parent edges, because yeah, maybe you don't want to center everything in parent. Let's just stick to parent edges. And yeah, I will leave sizing on because yeah, image views need a sizing. So what I want to add in here is sticking to parent edges. And as you can see, we have, yeah, it's kind of cutting off, but there we go, sticking to parent edges relative to safe area. We have some insets there and insets with relative to safe area. So let's choose this one, this last one, because yeah, it's really complicated and it's the longest one. So left, right, top, bottom, you understand that, and relative to safe area. So I want to, let's say, pinch it to the top right corner. So yeah, you want to just delete everything. So left, you don't want to add 0 because yeah, it is going to pinch it as 0 to the left of the view that we are laying it out. So yeah, you just want to delete it. It's kind of non-existent. And now for the right core, let's have here, let's say 24, top again 24, and bottom we want to delete that also. If you saw that, it's an optional. And relative to save here, let's set this to true. So let's build and run again and see how that looks like. And we are going to rotate it also. So there we go, 24 pixels from top and right. And now let's just rotate this. You can see relative to save area. Here is the save area. How awesome is that? So let's move that back. And let's move on with our tutorial here. Next up is filling parent. Now you want to fill the parent with whatever. And when we are going to get to stacking, you want to fill with multiple views. But for now, let's just fill this with the parent. So filling parent, and as you can see, we can set some insets also. The second one here with the insets is setting all of the insets to one CG float. We can add a UI edge inset. Is it relative to save area, and the combination of the above. So I will just select this one, insets, let's say 24. So let's just remove the sizing, because now we don't really need this because it's kind of constraining it to the size, but wants to fill it as a parent. So let's just stretch it along the way. So let's see what we got here. It will not be that pretty, but you will see that it's going to fill out the whole view there. There we go. It's filling the parent, and as you can see, it's not adhering to the save area. So there is our insetting at the top and the bottom. And because we haven't set the content inset of the image, we are kind of spilling it over. Let me just set the content inset so you can see all of the insets. So content mode, and that will be, let's say, scale aspect. Let's set scale aspect fit, so we can see those on the right and left of our view. So there we go. We have shrunk it to fit the filling parent requirement. You can see it's just having this large inset at the top. So there we go. That's really nice. That's filling parent. Now let's talk a little bit about insetting, but not with filling parent. Let's say we are filling parent. So we can also add in here before that insets. And yeah, we could just select insets or insetting or by the UI insets. And I will just add in here 24 again. Let's hit Control I to indent that one single line, or the line that we selected. As you can see, it's just only one line, so that's what it's going to be indented. And yeah, it's doing the same thing, but now it's kind of really more readable. So next up we have stacking, and we have come to the most exciting part of our tutorial, stacking views, because yeah, these are just basic stuff, but we might want to have a little bit more complex views. So let's talk a little bit about stacks. Now, if you are using Autolayout, you are used to kind of laying out views according to other views, like setting one view size and then just putting it to the left of the view and letting it fill the whole view, let's say to the whole screen size. But with stacking, it's like UI stack views. You know, you are stacking views on one on top of the other or one beside the other. It depends if it's vertical or horizontal. And the auto layout will automatically constrain and figure out what's best for that layout. I know it's kind of a new concept, so you don't really want to be really precise, like 100 pixels here and 200 pixels there. You want the stack to automatically figure out how it is done. So let's stack out our image view and label. Okay, so let's just delete all of this and start from fresh. Okay, so what you want is just start typing in stack, and as you can see here we have with one of the axes, and that's what you want to use, and we are going to stack this as vertically, and then finally we want to fill the parent, because most probably that's what you want to do. You want to fill the whole parent with this stack, and layout in the view. So we are going to fill the view with this stack. So image view, and I'm going to set sizing to it because otherwise we will not see anything. So let's set the image views width and height to 100, and then let's add a comma here and let's add our label. Okay, now if you are familiar with stacking, you know that you just kind of want to know what is the stretchiness of it and where do you want to kind of push it. And now I want to push everything up. So I want to add an empty UI view at the bottom of our stack. So that's what I will do. So UI view, just initialize a simple empty UI view, and that will push everything up. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So let's build and run and see it. By the way, label has an intrinsic size. So as you can see, it's just pushing everything up. There we go. We have our whale text. It doesn't look quite nice, but it does the job. Okay, so what do we want to kind of fix here? Well, first of all, let's have filling parent. And we want to use relative to safe area. Yeah, this is just a matter of taste, but again. And finally, we want to add some spacing to our stack. And yeah, you could just have fill mode and so on, distribution and so on. Go ahead and check that out. Yeah, you just need to experiment with that. So spacing between the views will be 15 pixels. And finally, I want to add in here a text alignment because I want to have that as dot center. And again, this comes from Spark UI. How awesome is that? So let's just build and run and see how that looks like. Really, really nice. Again, you could just add in here some insetting. Insetting by, let's say, 24. And again, I promise this is the last kind of beautifying our view. Yep, really, really nice. Now, let's go over and let's add a little bit more text into this whale. So we may have a lot more text than we have available on the view. So I believe it's S lorem ipsum. Now, S lorem ipsum comes from Spark UI. It's a long text, and I believe extra long should be really enough. So let's see if that lorem ipsum text will do the job. Well, as you can see, we have these 3 dots, so we want to make the label multiline. So set multiline. Okay, and now that we have all of these properties, I really want to add them in a brand new text. And now you can see how the power of Spark UI, with just a few lines of code, you can see it's really there. There we go. So it's kind of truncating the text. As you can see, we have these 3 dots because, yeah, it's just filling the view that we have available. But we want to make this scrollable, and that is really, really powerful with Layoutless. We just want to add another property here, well, with the dot notation, and that is scrolling. And as you can see, with the direction, and that will be vertical. And yeah, by the way, let's just add all of these again as really, really neat right over there. It depends on your choice. So let's just build and run. As you can see, we had it added scrolling vertical. And now, because we are cut off here because we have set it that it should be filling the parent relative to the safe area. So that's what this is right over here. But we automatically have a scroll view. Now, how can you kind of manipulate the scroll view? Because maybe we want to get rid of this bar there. So let's just start typing it again. So scrolling. And here we have direction with a configure. Direction, vertical, configure. If you just complete that completion handler, there we go. Scroll view. And here you can set scroll view, show vertical scroll indicator, and that is set to false. Now let's build and run again one final time, and let's see how that looks like. Really, really nice. Now we don't have that vertical scroll indicator. Now I hope you really enjoyed and you have seen the power of Layoutless and of course of Spark UI if you want to use these really, really fast views, building out views. But the main point here is that Layoutless really, really rocks. So now you know how to cut your development time of laying out views in half or even more. Now I want you to hit that notification bell because in the next video I will be talking about parsing JSON. That's right. And while you wait for that, make sure to check out these videos as well too. I talk a lot about Swift, UIKit in general. So as usual, I will see you in the next one.